I want to start with telling you about when I went to heaven. I found myself there. And I was a bit surprised. Okay, granted, this was a dream, but nevertheless, I found myself in heaven. And I don't mean at the pearly gates. I mean, I was in. And it was a little weird because I'm not a believer. And so I looked around and I said, hey, there's been some mistake, I think, because I left this all behind. I was raised a missionary kid. I was a Jesus freak. I believed the Bible was the Word of God, every word, heaven and hell. I went door to door. I did the whole bit. Jesus was my first lover. Everybody else was saved or unsaved. I didn't have much of a childhood because I was always worried about that. I had to think about cosmic consequences for everything. But then I got older and I felt like I had to reclaim my mind. I had to figure out that I had a right to my own thoughts, to my own feelings. And I went to college, and I went through my own grieving. You know, imagine my whole reality getting ripped out from under me because there were other ways of thinking about the world. There were other ways of conceiving, which to me felt a lot better and more moral because I no longer wanted to worship a God that would send anybody to hell to burn for eternity. I didn't want to have anything to do with this guy. And so here I am in heaven, and I'm saying, hey, I'm not a believer. What am I doing here? And so, nevertheless, I'm waiting, and I look around, and I feel this presence of God, kind of like I used to feel when I was a little kid, when it was real and felt good. And then I have this almost amused thought that he liked me. You know how when you're with somebody or people and you kind of get the sense that they like you, you can kind of understand whether someone likes you or not. And I get the feeling like I was welcome and that he liked me, which got it even more weird. And so I said, what's going on here? You know I don't belong here. I'm a heathen. I'm pagan, I'm heathen, I'm lost, I'm apostate. And he just laughed and he said, however, everyone has misunderstood the criteria for being here. And I said, oh yeah? Well, what is that? And he said, you dare to live. And that's what I woke up with. You dare to live. You dare to live. And after that, I relaxed because even though I had gone off on my own path and I was reconstructing my life and it was a lot of work, there was still this underlying anxiety about whether or not I was going to be okay. After that, I felt like I had divine approval to not believe in that horrible old God, and you know that faith could be something very different, that spirituality could be something very different. And then I wrote a book, and later on I found a website, somebody else's website, where they had a quote from my book on the bottom of every page, which was, when you dare to live, you will find your way. It was a quote from me, and that was pretty funny.